Mark, you've been involved in the Pee Wee tournaments, coaching the kids up in Quebec in the great tournament up there. What are the kids, as far as their learning ability and learning the game, are they getting the coaching that they need to get at a young age?
Well, that's a very interesting question because I have some interesting thoughts of where our sport's gone at a youth level. And
well, tell us.
Well, I think we're running into some problems there in many areas. I think there's many issues. Money is one of them. But when you talk about money, I think you got to get the money out of minor sports. I think there's too much money. I think the parents are demanded to pay too much money for private lessons. There's too much hockey being played. The families are being broken up because of the travel, weekend tournaments. And in the end, if your kid is in hockey to become an NHL player, you're missing what sports is really about. Sports is about the mental and physical and emotional well-being of the kids. And if you look at just the pure percentages of the players that actually make the National Hockey League, I mean, it's daunting to think that your son at 7 years old needs to be going private lessons and playing tournaments every week for the fact that that's going to make him into a National Hockey League player. I mean, 0.007% of the kids that play hockey ever make it to the National Hockey League. And so they're very gifted players. And so the youth sports has got to be about, you know, the life lessons that you're learning and all the camaraderie and the dressing room and the way you can be good teammates. And the coaching at minor sports is not about winning and losing. It's about teaching our kids to be good civilians. And I think that has really kind of gotten mixed up in the minor sports, and coaches are coaching to win, and they're putting stress on their kids, and they're padding their own records, and you know, it's blowing up on us. So there's a lot of, excuse me, there's a lot of issues there that we really need to address, because if we don't, we're just cannibalizing our own sport there, and we're just weeding out so many great young players that want to play the game. And I'm not saying that we can't fast track a certain group of players, but I think at what age do we need to do that? We really need to look at what age are we taking our kids, and is 7? Are they if they're playing? No. Is it 10? I don't think so. Is it 12? It's young. Maybe at 14, they're old enough to realize themselves of exactly where they want to go and where they want to. And that doesn't mean that those 14-year-olds that are very gifted players have to be held back. And in fact, they're there to bring everybody else up with them. And so it's a philosophical challenge that we were facing there too. It's not only in the U.S. there, it's in Canada as well.
What are your thoughts, Mike?
Well, I agree. I think Mark said it, you cannibalize your own. Why would anybody play sports if it's not fun? What kid is going to volunteer for that? We can lament all day long about kids staying inside and playing video games, but listen, if I'm 5 years old and I'm getting yelled at every time I touch the puck and go the wrong way, I wouldn't have kept playing. And you play because it's enjoyable. You play because it's giving something back to you. And I think if you take that pure joy out of it, again, that's in that quote and that we've all experienced here, kids are not dumb. They'll walk the other way, and they're voting with their feet right now in a lot of ways.
Take us back to the joy of 1994 and what that was like in the locker room.
Yeah, you know,
with the group that you had.
I think Mike Eruzione once said about the team that won in 1980, it was not because we won that we were friends, it was because we were friends that we won. And I just think of that year, and every time I do, it's a smile, and not just because we won. The guys in the locker room, you'd never want to be late for practice because they were just stretching out before the practice was just hilarious. Just hearing what people had to say. People knew their roles in their team. There was a lot of competition within that team, but yeah, we were incredibly successful on the ice, but we loved each other off the ice. We had a fantastic time, and then to go with that group of guys that you care for a lot and end up achieving exactly what you set out to do, that's why you play. It was just, you know, you dream about it your whole life, and you know, Leach and I used to walk around New York saying, wow, you know, could you imagine here what it's like to win here? And I got to tell you, I've got a great imagination, but it's far better than anything I thought about.